Hi, everybody. Happy Monday, July 25th. Wow, July's almost over. Hope you're all doing good. We're finally having some rain. Not as much as I would like, but we got a little bit of rain. And now I sound like an old person saying we need rain, but it has been so oppressively hot and dry here. So it was nice to wake up to a pretty good rain shower early this morning, and then some just kind of, it's just been kind of misting all afternoon. So, a great day to stay in and craft. I hope you're doing well. If you're here, please say hello in the comments. I can see the comments. I love to chat. I'm going to get my camera ready and turn it around for our project today. I have the fun little project today that kind of coincides with our, hello, I'm down in the corner. Let's see, get this straight here. Coincides with my Tuesday tutorial last week. But before we get started, I wanted to remind you that we are almost done with the 1 month of celebration. We'll have one more month, the month of August. One of the items is sold out, and that is oh, I have seen such darling things done with this Hippest Hippos. The pool party and soft seafoam cards and envelopes are sold out, so doggone it. Those are nice to have on hand because your cards and envelopes coordinate, and all you have to do is lay a little stamp and ink on it, and you've got it. But that is sold out. If you don't have a celebration brochure, I'd love to get one to you. Celebration is a free product with a minimum of $50 purchase. So if your order before tax and shipping totals $50 or more, you can choose a free product, and there is no limit. So every $50 increment. The project we're making today is going to be very similar to this box, and I did post this on my social media accounts. People in my Tuesday tutorials were emailed a link to the PDF tutorial, and if you're not on my mailing list, hop on over to theplaidpoodle.com and get on there, and every Tuesday I send out a free tutorial, and I'll be working on tomorrow's tutorial as soon as I get off here today. But I made this little box, and sometimes it's hard to explain things in words. I think I did a pretty good job, and I even put a diagram down here for the box, but I thought let's make this box but change it up a little bit for Halloween. So I made a little Frankenstein box, and it's just a little I call it punch art, but I use dies. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell their round punches anymore, but they do sell some really cute dies, and I used the Stylish Shapes circle dies, and they have stitched, they're stitched circles, and so I thought that kind of looked like his, he's sewn together, so I thought that was kind of fun. Hi, Loopy! This is right up your alley, lady. But the box that I made and the tools that I used are very similar. For this box, you can go to my blog and you'll see all the information there, but I used the Cottage Wreath bundle with the Country Wreaths dies. And it's kind of nice because you can use the wreaths all year, but the sentiments are great for all the fall holidays and Christmas. So I used the little, what would you call that, stick wreath and the spider, and then used some pumpkin pie and daffodil delight to kind of give it a candy corn theme. But this one today we're going to make Mr. Frankenstein. And I went ahead and cut everything out. For this box, you're going to need a piece of 5.5 by 7.5. 7.5 by 5.5, and I went ahead and used Granny Apple Green. I thought that was a great monster color. And then this is going to be our box. To embellish it, I cut 2 panels using the dies, the contours dies, scalloped contours. I used the second largest one, and these dies can be purchased separate or they coordinate with the flower images on the color and contour set, and that's in the annual catalog. So I cut 2 panels of those, but you could just cut a rectangle. This rectangle measures, I believe, a little over 4 inches by, get my little ruler out here. It's about 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. So you could just, well, everything's falling over. It's a Monday, right? You could just make the box and then just cut some rectangles and embellish your little Frankenstein. But I like the little scalloped panels. So I cut 2 of those, one for the front and one for the back. And then I went ahead and did all this for y'all. But I forgot to do one thing. Of course I did. 2 white circles, and I used the 2 smallest circles from these dies. So 2 white, 2 black using the smallest circle, 1 little Granny Apple Green, that's for, we're going to cut it in half for his nose, and then 1 large Granny Apple Green, we're going to cut in half for his little eyelids. So that's all I used with that. You could use punches if you don't have the dies. I believe, see if I can do this without knocking everything over. These are a little over 1 inch. These are 1 1/4 inch circles, and the smaller ones are 3/4 inch circles. So if you have some punches, you can sure use those. Or you can make your eyes bigger or littler than I did. Okay, and we're going to have to do his hair. I forgot to cut that for us, so we'll do that here in a second. But let's make our box first. So like I said, this is 5.5 by 7.5. And on the 7.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 3 inches. So I'm using my trimmer, and there's my little gutter. I'm going to line this up, making sure this is my 7.5 inch length. And I'm going to do this at 3 inches with my scoring blade. And then I'm going to pop it over 1.5 inches to 4.5 inches. Lining this up with 4.5 inches and scoring that. And if you don't have a scoring blade on your trimmer, just use a bone folder right down the gutter like that, and that'll take care of it. Make sure you don't hop off like I did. Then turn it, and on the 5.5 inch side, we are going to score this at 1.5 inches. So this is the 5.5 inch side. So right here at 1.5 on my trimmer, I'm going to do a score line, and then I'm going to scooch it over to 4. So this side is lined up with the 4 inch on the trimmer. And then you probably can't see the lines, but there are some score lines on our paper. And we're going to fold those. And I'm going to burnish these with my bone folder. I am not going to be here Wednesday. I'm traveling to Toronto for my nephew's wedding this next weekend. And to get a non-stop flight, we have to leave on Wednesday. I didn't want to deal with all the connections and things, layovers, with all the trouble that's been going on. So I won't be here for Coffee and a Card. Okay, so now we have this score line, and then we also have these two score lines. So I'm going to take my paper snips and just trim up. We're making tabs. I'm going to trim on these score lines just to that horizontal score line. And then I like to trim off a little bit of the edges here on my tabs. And then we're going to do that again over here. These boxes are real easy to make, and you can decorate and embellish them in any occasion, holiday that you want to. Just right now we're going into Halloween, and I went to Hobby Lobby. You've been to Hobby Lobby lately? They've got all their fall stuff out, and it's 40% off. Of course, it was last week. I'm assuming it is this week again. I don't know, because I went last week, and their ad changes every Sunday, right? I haven't looked at their ad this week. Okay, I'm going to fold in these tabs and add some adhesive, and then I'm going to fold up one side of the box. See how that's going to turn into a box, and adhere the tabs to those edges, making sure that box is pretty squared up, especially at the bottom. And then on these side panels, I'm going to add a little adhesive. I'm using liquid adhesive, but any strong adhesive would work. This is just kind of my favorite adhesive for 3D projects. I like to use the multi-purpose liquid glue that Stampin' Up! Carries. Okay. Then you can take your bone folder and kind of make sure those sides are all. And that's your box. You could just decorate it as is. You could put a little handle on it and create a basket, but we're going to add our panels. And before we do that, let's get a piece of black. And I am going to cut this. Oh, I don't know. Let's grab my scissors. I don't really have a science for his hair. Let's see. I think what I'm going to do is cut a straight line. I want this to be straight, so I'm going to redo this. His hair is about 1 1/4 inches long. So we're going to cut this at 1 1/4. You need to leave room for his big eyes. So I've got a strip of 1 1/4. And then I want it to match my scalloped edge here. So I'm going to take that die. Pop it up top there. I'm going to use a little washi tape to hold it in place. So this is 1 1/2 inch strip. I didn't really pay attention to the edges, but it's at least 4 inches wide. There we go. So I have this little strip that we're going to put right there. But first, I want to cut some little hairs in there. So I'm just going to, I just did triangles, like taller and shorter and skinnier and fatter. He doesn't have a good barber, Frank here. You could do a squiggly line, just any way you want, or you may have a die that's grass, and that would work. I thought about using my, I have some scissors that cut like a grass pattern, but I kind of wanted it more choppy. There's really no science. There we go. So he's going to have a little Elvis sideburn over here. All right, and then I'm just going to glue that right on there. Okay. Now, we can either put his face together or we can put it on the box. I like to put it on the box because I kind of like to see how it's going to look and where I want it to be. It just helps me position everything. So I'm going to go ahead and put this panel on the box. And you just want to center it. I just eyeball it. And then you can take your bone folder. There's the front. I guess you wouldn't have to put it back. I did. I thought it looked cute, and it also gives you some extra sides. I put a little filler in there. Now this little guy, I did some hair in the back, but this is how I learned that my hair needed to be shorter because I didn't leave enough room for eyeballs and things. So this little guy has hair in the back, but our sample today, I'm not going to bother doing that. And we're going to put our other panel. Did I not cut two of those? Oh, y'all, geez, Louise. Well, here we go again. I thought I had it all together. I swear I cut two of them, but I didn't. I have my daughter and a couple of my grandchildren here, so you have a little interruptions, you know, distractions, fun distractions, but. Loopy loves the hair. It's cute, isn't it? You can curl it up too if you want it to look like it's a little windblown. Okay, we're going to glue this back panel on. Anyway, my daughter and two grandchildren are here, and my son just had a baby, so they went over to play with their cousins and to see their new cousin. So I had just enough time to do my live today, so that was really nice. And I like it when the cousins can get together, because now that my daughter has moved kind of far away, I like them to maintain that relationship, right? Okay, now we're going to do the eyeballs. So I'm just going to glue. He looks like kind of like a zombie right there. I'm going to glue the two white circles that I cut. What we determined, this was like 1 1/4 inch circle. Just use whatever size you have. And then we're going to glue the two smaller black circles in the center. kind of down low because we're going to put his eyelids there. And so for his eyelids, we're just going to cut this larger Granny Apple Green circle in half. And for his nose, we're going to cut this smaller Granny Apple Green circle in half. We're going to just use half for his nose. And then I took some basic gray. You could probably use black, or even the Granny Apple Green would be cute. And my gray wants to be... What in the heck? Well, we're going to use black because gray doesn't want to cooperate. Wonder if I got it closed proper. Anyways, let's use the black Memento. And I took a little sponge and I'm just going to very lightly, just gives a little shadow and it'll add a little dimension to the edges of these half circles. Oh, let me get up in here in the camera. I think my camera's a little low today. I apologize for my giant hands. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Whew. Whoops. With the little nose. Just sponge a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to plop those up. Prop them up. And a little half a dimensional for the nose. There we go. Now for his little face, I just took a black Stampin' Write marker and I wanted him to be kind of happy, so I drew kind of a squiggly, smiley face. That looks kind of like a frustrated face. And then I also drew a tiny little scar on his cheek there. You could probably put one somewhere else too. And then for the little eyes, I don't know, this is just a little optional thing. I had a chalk marker. You might have a white gel pen. I do somewhere around here. Make sure my ink is ready to roll. I just did some little, whoops, I knew I shouldn't have gone back. Anyway, that's it. And then for the filler, I just cut really skinny pieces of Gorgeous Grape and the basic black cardstock. And then I wad it up and make a mess out of it. And then just stick it in there. And you can stick your candies, or it'd be a good size for a gift card as well. That is the little Frankenstein box. And here's the one I did last week for my Tuesday tutorial people, but now you've seen in video how to put that box together. It's pretty simple. So thank you so much for joining me. Hi Loopy, I hope you have a great day. Like I said, I won't be back until next Monday. Our plane is supposed to land at 10:30 a.m. next Monday, so I'm counting on being here. But I'll post something if by chance it doesn't happen. But I'm pretty sure we'll be here. So I'm ready to get back and start scheduling things now that all these busy occasions. I've had my grandbaby, my nephew's getting married, and now we can get back to normal starting next Monday. So it'll be kind of nice. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Talk to you later. Happy stamping. Bye bye.